When we go to the grocery store, we're bombarded by labels that often make us think our meat comes from a farm like this, or even this. This is one of the modern meat industry's attempts to strategically manipulate loopholes and conceal the true origin of our meat. The unsettling reality is that 99% of our meat comes from a factory farm like this, or even this. If you're curious and want to uncover the truth behind the meat industry, stay tuned for the rest of this video. To understand where we are today, it's crucial to see how we got here. Since the agricultural revolution around 12,000 years ago, humans have been trying to create a stable and prosperous supply of meat. Yet we weren't able to reach true scale until two crucial inventions: antibiotics and hormones. Low-dose antibiotics allow us to prevent the animals from getting sick in overcrowded and stressful environments, while both antibiotics and hormones allow us to improve their feed conversion, allowing them to gain more weight on less feed. This powerful combination enabled the creation of factory farms. Furthermore, during the 50s and 60s, farmers started borrowing from the manufacturing industry. Each farm now specialized with one species. They standardized animal feed, housing, and genetics. And they consolidated to leverage economies of scale. To give you an idea, in 1966, the US had approximately 1 million hog farms. But by 2001, the amount of hog farms had plummeted to just around 80,000 hog farms, all while the number of hogs being produced stayed the same. It became apparent that factory farms were having negative effects on the environment. Consequently, in 1972, the Clean Water Act was passed, and the Environmental Protection Agency was tasked with enforcing it. The goal was to prohibit the discharge of pollutants from a point source into the waters of the US. This is where the regulatory term CAFOs, concentrated animal feed operations, was originally introduced. Fast forward to today, and it's estimated that 99% of all animals raised in the US are farmed in factory farms. Yet, this efficient meat production has not come without consequences. Firstly, CAFOs are terrible for the environment. After all, there's a reason why they're regulated by the EPA. One of the greatest challenges associated with CAFOs is dealing with the insane amount of waste generation. CAFOs produce upwards of 133 million tons of dry manure each year, which is more than 13 times that produced of all the humans in the US. According to a 2001 study by the EPA, the agricultural sector is the leading contributor of pollutants to lakes, rivers, and reservoirs. It has been found that states with a high concentration of CAFOs experience on average 20 to 30 serious water problems each year as a result of manure mismanagement. This waste is rich in nitrogen and phosphorus, which creates algae growth upon decomposition. This leads to dead zones where aquatic life cannot survive. On top of this, poorly lined manure lagoons can leak and contaminate groundwater, increasing the risk of exposure to certain bacteria, such as E. coli, and increasing our risk to antibiotic and hormonal residues. CAFOs can also negatively affect our air quality by releasing ammonia and hydrogen sulfide, both of which have been linked to respiratory issues. Ultimately, the profitability of factory farms are structurally dependent on this low-cost system of waste disposal. This effectively offloads the true environmental and public health costs onto society. Not only are CAFOs bad for the environment, they're terrible for the animals. Animals are often forced to live, eat, and sleep in the very same place they're urinating and defecating. For example, slated concrete floors are common for pigs, battery crates are common for laying hens, and windowless sheds are common for poultry. Additionally, animals are typically fed an unhealthy corn and soy-based diet to maximize the animal's weight gain. Furthermore, to prevent injuries that would devalue the final product, farmers often resort to painful physical mutilations on their animals. This can range from beak trimming chicken and turkey, to dehorning cattle, to even tail docking pigs. From the living space, to the food, to the physical mutilations, many of the practices are far from the humane and natural methods many large meat corporations claim to follow. While CAFOs are bad for the environment and the animals, these effects ultimately end up damaging our health. According to the Government Accountability Office, since 2002, 15 government-sponsored or peer-reviewed studies have directly linked air and water pollution from animal waste to specific health and/or environmental problems. For example, there is strong evidence suggesting that the use of antibiotics in animal feed is contributing to the growth of antibiotic-resistant microbes, therefore causing antibiotics to be less effective for humans. Furthermore, there is significant evidence suggesting that factory farms increase asthma in neighboring communities. Beyond health, these operations can devastate local communities. A 2006 study showed that property values can decrease by over 6% within a 3-mile radius of a CAFO, and by as much as 88% for homes within 1/10 of a mile. Lastly, even the meat itself can be of worse quality. For example, pasture-raised and grass-fed beef have been found to have upwards of 5 times as many omega-3 fatty acids, as well as more vitamins, antioxidants, and phytochemicals when compared to conventional beef. Furthermore, factory farmed meat has the chance of containing antibiotic and/or hormonal residues, as well as antibiotic-resistant bacteria. So as we've uncovered, modern factory farms are terrible for the environment, the animals, and ultimately our health. So what can we do about it? The best way we can ensure we don't consume or support factory farms is by finding local and trusted farmers, buying from reputable third-party certifiers, and by looking for USDA organic, which is not perfect as it still has some loopholes, but is a meaningful step up from conventional meat. Before we end this video, I think it's essential that we touch on a few misleading labels. The natural or all natural label does not indicate that the animal was raised in a natural environment, making this label practically useless when looking for meat. The no hormones added label, when used on poultry or pork, while factually accurate, is practically useless, as federal regulations prohibits the use of hormones on these animals. The cage-free label, when referring to chicken meat, is also useless, as meat chickens are not raised in cages. Lastly, and possibly most deceivingly, the humanely raised label, when present without a third-party seal, is absolutely meaningless. Overall, the harsh reality is that the vast majority of the modern meat industry relies on factory farms to mass-produce cheap meat. They then leverage healthy and natural-looking labels and packages to make us feel good while we consume their lies. But now we know the truth about their factory farms. We have the power to make a change by purchasing local, organic, and/or third-party certified products, and by telling others of the meat industry's secret. If you found this video informative, share it with someone you care about. And if you value transparent food, join us as we seek to uncover the truth behind the modern food industry and bring trust back to our food supply.